Hi everyone, welcome to Waste Less Westbrook. Today I'm taking typical ingredients that we usually throw out in the bin and we're going to elevate it to something chef-worthy, something that any restaurant would be happy to put on the menu. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so we've got some expired milk. Definitely don't recommend anything. If it's smelly or weird, throw it out, but this is only expired yesterday, so we're going to use it. We got some beautiful grapefruit skins. One of my most favorite ingredients. We're just going to be using the skins, and something a little weirder, we've got a burnt cake. So we're going to be starting by zesting and juicing 2 lemons. Set these aside for later. Get about 200 ml of lemon juice from these 2 lemons. Next up, we're going to tackle these grapefruit skins. I'm just removing the inner sort of pith, and we're just going to use the outside flesh. Cut them into 1 centimeter lengths. Then, in a medium-sized pot, we're going to bring to the boil 300 ml of water, 250 grams of caster sugar. Reduce that to a simmer, slide in those grapefruit skins, give them a pat down, make sure they're all having a drink, and we're going to simmer that for 15 to 20 minutes until they're all nice and translucent. In a separate bowl, we're going to be weighing out an additional 80 grams of caster sugar. Slide in our grapefruit skins, give them a good old toss in that sugar, get them nicely coated, and then we're going to pop them on one of these reusable non-stick baking mats and pop them into the oven at 120 degrees for about 2 hours. This is what you're left with, slightly chewy, nicely caramelized grapefruit. Next up, let's make our own ricotta. In a large pot, add 4 liters of milk, 2 tablespoons of flaky salt. Immediately panic and find yourself a way bigger pot. Bring your milk to a roughly 80 degrees and drop in that 200 ml of lemon juice from earlier. It'll start to curdle straight away. Stir the curds to the center. Whack on the lid and let it chill out for 15 minutes. Pour into a cheesecloth. Make sure you keep the whey because I'll show you how to use it in another video. Transfer to a bowl with a strainer and let it chill for 1 to 2 hours. Don't forget, when you put it in the fridge, the bowl is going to be hot, so don't burn your hands like I did. Next up, I've managed to harvest some amazing mulberries, which were growing in abundance. In a medium pot, add 150 ml of water, 200 grams of fresh mulberries, and 100 grams of sugar. Simmer for 20 to 30 minutes until you get a nice thick consistency. Transfer into your blender. Add 1 shot of gin. This is totally optional. And give it a good old wazz. We'll transfer that into a container and let it chill out until we're ready to plate. Okay, now I know you're wondering what I'll be doing with this burnt cake. I turned it upside down, scraped out the non-burnt bits. I think I actually burnt it too well and forgot to use any raising agent, so I was generally sad about it the night before. Once you've got your usable cake bits, crumble them a little, and in a prepared pot, add 100 ml of water, 100 grams of raw sugar. We're going to bring that to the boil. We're going to reduce it by about half and then add a small knob of grated ginger. Then we're going to drop in 100 grams of dark chocolate and a pinch of flaky salt. Give it a good mix, make sure the chocolate is starting to melt. And this is going to act as kind of like a rehydration for that burnt cake. So we're going to slide the burnt cake in now, getting a big old mess all over your stovetop. And then we have to stir and mix this in constantly for 15 to 20 minutes until we get a really nice soil-like texture. Transfer it to a baking tray and we'll just let it cool down until we're ready to plate. Okay, one last thing I promise, and then we'll get to the donuts. We could do a simple cinnamon sugar, but it doesn't feel right. So in a blender, add 8-star anise and let it do a dance. Shake it off through a sieve and add that to 70 grams of sugar. Mix it around, get it all incorporated, and you've got yourself a nice star anise sugar. Back to the lemon zest from earlier. Add 3 eggs, 100 grams of icing sugar, and whisk that bad boy up. Add your ricotta, and because we want a nice soft ricotta, I only let it chill in the fridge for about 1 to 2 hours. Give it a good old massage. It seems a bit unfair after all this work we've done. And add 180 to 200 grams of flour. Then it's time to form our balls. Spray a baking tray with oil. Now, grab about 30 to 40 grams of the mixture with 2 fingers and roll it in the palm of your hands. I made sure my fingers and hands were wet so you get a nice shape on all of your bowls. Fill a heavy base saucepan with oil and heat it to 160 degrees. Use a slotted spoon to carefully maneuver your donuts into the hot oil and fry until golden. This should take about 3 to 5 minutes depending on the size of your donuts. Carefully remove them from the oil and set onto a baking tray, which we're going to finish the cooking process in an oven at 160 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Allow the donuts to cool slightly, then cover generously in your star anise sugar. Now, let's put this all together. Start by making a nice pool of your mulberry sauce in the center of the plate. Sprinkle your chocolate soil and create a moat for your bowls to sit on. Place a few of your candied grapefruit. Finish with some nice lemon zest and fresh mulberries and let that icing sugar descend from heaven. There you have it, guys. Ricotta donuts made from food waste. Alright guys, look at this. Doesn't this look incredible? Like, it's almost too pretty to eat. And to think that we started with such humble beginnings. Alright, I don't know where to start. I'm just gonna try and get a little bit of everything. So good. Get a little bit of ginger from the chocolate soil, nice little tartness from the mulberries. The donuts, They're not overly sweet, but there's enough sweetness on the plate to just like bring it all together. This is like incredible. I'm gonna go for another bite.